Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is William. Um, this week is Easter week, so I said I'd do a little Easter project. So it'll be a two-part project. So I'll just change the camera here. So we're going to have a go at making some eggs. So this is laburnum and this is Irish yew. Some beautiful colours in it. So that's part one. So when we turn a few eggs, we're going to turn two of these eggs into this guy, a little rabbit. I watched Jason Breach from Axminster turning one here last week, so I said I couldn't resist having a go. So um, again, this one is from laburnum. So a cute little project. So as I said, a two-part project. We're going to have some nice Easter eggs, and we're going to turn a couple of eggs and turn them into a little rabbit. So I'll crack on. Move these out of the way. So to do the rabbit, we need a couple of small pieces, not much. So I'm going to start with the bigger piece. So we're just going to turn it between centers. So for this egg, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not using any fancy measuring or jigs or whatever. So the tool I'm using here to start up is a Continental spindle gouge. Just going to check the width because I want about no more than 60 millimeters, I think. So 65, nearly 66. So I'll take another little bit off. Switch over to standard spindle gouge. The reason I was measuring the thickness was a little jam choke, so I have it set for 62 millimeters. But you don't need this if you don't want to use it. So now I'm happy enough with the shape, so I might just give it a little scrape with the skew just to refine it a little bit more. So that's not too bad. It looks like an egg. So just get this sanded now. Again, laburnum is one of those woods that's quite nasty. It can be toxic, so use good dust extraction if you're sanding. So I'm just going to pause and I'll take you back when I have it sanded. So now that's that sanded up to 400 grit. So I'm just going to apply some sanding sealer. The sanding sealer I use is Chestnut Products. It's mixed 50-50 with tinners. I'll get a second coat on. So now we can take it out in between centres now. So we're going to put it in the chuck. Knock it apart. So as I said, you have two options. We can just wedge it in the jam chuck, put it in the chuck, bring up the tail stock, or for to finish one side with this little nubbin here, we can put it in the inner part of the jaws. Straighten it up. So now we can finish this side. I'm just going to use a little 10mm spindle gouge. Speed up a bit. And just gently peel this piece away. So now that's refined that a little bit, so I'm just going to give this a little sand. So now we're just going to use our little jam chuck. That's holding pretty tight there now, but I'll leave the tailstock up for a little bit. Now that's the other end done. So again, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a sand and put some sanding sealer on it, and we'll move on to the other little leg. So I'll just pause and take you back and I'm ready to do the other one. So now I just sanded that in and put some sanding sealer on it, so I'll just pop it out of the jam chuck now. I'll take a look at it. So it's pretty good, looks near enough to an egg. So we'll leave this to one side now and make a start on the smaller one. So I want this piece about 36mm. Switch over to the smaller gouge. Looks near enough to an egg. So again, I'll just refine the shape a little bit with the skew. So happy with that. So I'm going to again stick this into the chuck and do one side. So now we'll just get this little fella sanded. So now we're just going to stick it in our little jam chuck. Hopefully I got my measurements right. So happy with that, it's holding in it pretty good. So now that's the other end off. So again, I'm just going to give this a little sand. So now that's that sanded and sand and sealer on. So that's part 2 done. So that's the body and the head of the rabbit made. So we're just going to make the little tail now. This is just one of the 1,000 pen blanks I have lying around the place. So we just want a little round ball for a tail. Just give this a sand. Little bit of sanding sealer. So, oh, just give that little piece of sand. It's pretty good. As I said, you can just eyeball, you know, just get it as round as you can. And our next piece is going to be our ears. So I think this piece is about 26 millimeters square by 85. So now we'll be turning this little piece again just between centers. So I'll just bring it around with the roughing gouge. So that's rounded there now in the center. If you can see on the outside, I've left it square. Actually, I cut this little piece square on the bandsaw for a reason. So when I turn the ears, I have a flat side that I can just lay on the table of the bandsaw, and I can cut it pretty straight. So I'll be leaving these on till the last. So now we're just going to shape the ears. So happy with that shape now. So again, a little more sanding. So now that's the little ears turned. I know it doesn't look like ears at the minute, but it will soon. So now what I need to do is take this over to the bandsaw, and I'm just going to split it down the middle. So if you don't have a bandsaw, you probably could clamp it in a vise and cut it with a little coping saw or something, but I said I have a bandsaw, so I'm just going to go over and do it. So I'll be back to you in 2 seconds. So now I've just cut it in half on the bandsaw and just trimmed off the ends. So we've a little bit of sanding to do. So I'm just going to put a sanding arbor in the headstock here, and we'll get them sanded. I will start on the assembly. So now I'm just going to sand these up. So the next step I want to do is create a little flat spot here and a flat spot here, so as they sit together like that. So I'm just going to do it on this. It's just a homemade jig I made up. It's just a piece of 80 grit pad stuck on it. So I'm just going to mark roughly, so if that's halfway on the egg, so over the overall length there's roughly halfway, so halfway again, so on the quarter mark you could say. So I'm just going to create a little flat spot there. So just when you're sanding the flat spots, if you can see the two flat spots are nearly identical in size, just so as when we're gluing it together you can't see it anywhere around. So now that's the body, the head, so I'm going to glue them together, but I want to give these a quick buff on the wheels first, just to put a bit of a shine on them. So just looking at the ears, I'm not quite happy with them. As you can see, they're a little bit rough on the point. So This is a little 3-inch arbor with a 240 grit pad on it, so I'm just going to tidy them up a little bit. So now I just refined them a little bit, as I said, with the sanding arbor and 240 disc. This is the section here that's going to meet. That's going to sit on the head. So if you can see there, I just rounded it slightly just on the edge of that. Just guessed it. So it looks nice when they're sitting on it. So now it's time for assembly. So I'm just going to have a quick clean up here and we'll get ready to put it all together. So back in a second. So now I'm just set up for assembly, but first job I need to do is drill the ears so as they can be mounted on the head. So I just cut up a kebab skewer, so which is exactly 3mm. So I'm going to drill a 3mm hole. So this is just a little homemade table that just goes into the banjo. So I'm just going to lay these down flat. Jacob's chuck, 3mm drill bit. So I'm going to drill my hole. So that's one. And that's two. So now just move this to the side. I can get rid of this now. So same with the little tail, or just drill the hole. So with a little dowel as well. So there was the flat spot, but what I forgot to do was, when I had the wheel set up, was just put a flat spot on the bottom so as it sits without wobbling over. So the head will be glued on here, so I'm going to do that now next. So I'm just using Hampshire Sheen medium CA. Put a little activator on this side. Just line them up. It's pretty good. So on the head, if you can see, I just marked down along the center with the pencil, and I marked two little holes there, so I'm just going to drill them with the cordless drill, and that will take our ears. So I'll just give this a couple of minutes to set. So now the glue is set. It only took a couple of minutes. So get rid of this, get rid of this. So now I have the little 3mm drill bit in the cordless drill. So I'm just going to drill where I marked for the ears. That's one. Just stick the piece of dowel. I'll stick the piece of dowel in the first one just so as I know to get the angle for the second one the same. Or near enough. So I just want to drill a small hole now for the tail. So we have our little rabbit. I'll glue the ears in it later on. That's the one I done earlier. And we have a few eggs as well. So that's a wrap on this one, guys. As you can see, a nice little clutch of eggs, a little bit of yew and laburnum, and our two little rabbits. So, as I said, a fun little project to do. I'm just looking at the screen beside me. I have about an hour and 15 minutes of footage, so I think I paused for some of the sanding, so probably about an hour and a half, I suppose, in total. But as I said, I was in no rush. A fun little project to do. So, as I said, that's my little Easter project done. So, again, guys, if you like this video, you might consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and share it. And don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And get out into your workshops and have a go. And I should catch you on the next one. So, bye for now.